Hey Sagittarius, this is Veritas Malefica with a general reading for you for the full moon in Aquarius on August 19th, 2024, and the time period around it. I've already meditated on the energies and shuffled decks to tap into what's going on right now. And yeah, we're going to get some cards for you. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it's not a personal reading. If you are interested in a personal reading, I do offer those on a very limited basis online. Information for how to book that is listed below in the description box. And I am available in person in San Francisco, California, for personal readings and event bookings. This reading is going to go slightly different from how I've been structuring the readings. Just gotten guidance to do so, and that is because there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on astrologically. There are like so many planets in retrograde, and I am by no means an astrologer, but I do dabble and try to pay attention to the general overarching energies and how they affect us. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that to begin with. I'm also going to use far less cards than I normally do. I'm going to keep this more of an intuitive nature. Definitely getting guidance to keep it that way. I'm going to be using an oracle deck. It's the Star Seed Oracle, which I don't use often. I don't own many oracle decks. They're a little bit more kind of tapping into channel messages as opposed to the structure of the tarot. So I will be using that, as well as the Aquarian Tarot, which I felt fitting because this is the full moon in Aquarius. And as I went to grab it, I noticed that there was a card that did not belong in the deck, that belonged to my Rider-Waite deck, which as I pulled it out, I realized it was the star, which we have in the background, which is the star. The star is the card associated with Aquarius. So I thought, well, all right, if that's not a sign, then I don't know what it is. So we're going to roll with that. But again, the messages are going to be a little bit more simple, a little bit more channeled, and less focused on the tarot. Yes, so first of all, let's talk about astrology right now. Again, so many planets in retrograde. Mercury is, of course, in retrograde, causing issues with communication, issues with travel, issues with technology, schedules, things like that. I've definitely been feeling it as a Sagittarius, and I think this is kind of a hard one. At least the first 2 week period of it is a little bit difficult, particularly for mutable signs, of which we are. So I hope you're doing okay with that. I've just been trying to not be very social at this particular juncture, kind of keeping to myself and giving myself extra time to get things done, and also just knowing things are probably not going to happen as I want them to, and things are going to run late and things are not going to work. And when they don't, I just decide, instead of getting upset about that, I move on to a different course of action. And that has seemed to help me. So hopefully that will help you. We also have a major conjunction coming up, which is Jupiter conjunct with Saturn, or excuse me, not conjunction, a square. Square, very different thing, opposing each other. So this is coming up, I believe, on or around the full moon, and then will be with us and will last for, I think, until next spring. So what this sort of signifies, Jupiter is, of course, the ruling planet of Sagittarius. It is the planet of abundance, of expansion, of wealth, of luck, things like that. Whereas Saturn is the planet of restriction and boundaries and things of that nature. So these are very opposite of each other, and they are squaring each other. So what we might find during this time is things that we're trying to expand upon or grow may not go as far as we want them to. They're going to be restricted, they're going to be slowed, they're going to not move as quickly. But there's an opportunity in that to really slow down and take our time, and to really think about, okay, well, how can I make this work most effectively? And a lot of just reassessment going on. Again, this will last until next spring. I think that reassessment period is really going to be super important moving into the fall as well as the winter. So, any major projects or things that you're trying to work on at this time, think about what am I implementing and how am I implementing to make this successful in the long term. Like Saturn's not really there to hurt, it's there to like, hey, slow down and kind of rein it in and let's, figure this out, so that it's sustainable, so that it's, something that will last with us for a long time and not be just fleeting and a momentary thing, which, sometimes Sagittarians, we kind of get carried away in that sort of energy. So this is great to sort of balance this out. Yes, that being said, as I was shuffling and as I was sort of getting into the energy, I am being very attracted to everything around me that is gold and yellow. I also live in cloudy, foggy San Francisco. August is known as Fogust. It is so foggy all the time. It can be very depressing. But we just had the sun peek through the clouds as I was shuffling for this reading. So for me, I'm getting that this is a very abundant time, a very joyous time. Even though it might be quiet and you might not feel like everything you're wanting to get done is getting done, I feel like this is a great period of manifestation for you in terms of thinking about what do I really want to manifest? What is it that brings me joy and true abundance, whatever that means to you. So yeah, lots of creator energy, which I think is good. And I think it's great for Sagittarius to also have that Saturn influence to slow down that creativity process so that it's something that is, sustainable. But let's go ahead and get an oracle card for this energy for Sagittarius for the full moon in Aquarius. That was a really interesting, it took its time to come out, and that's the energy I'm talking about, like really taking the time to no, let's wait on that for a minute, let's really pause and think and reflect, and then we'll take an action. And once it flipped out, it was like, oh, obviously it just felt very easy coming out. It wasn't like it was stuck, it was like the deck was thinking about it. So what do we have? I remember. That's really interesting. All right. So again, this is an oracle deck. So there are written explanations of each card according to the author, but I like to tap into my own intuition as well as working with some of those things. So I'm not just going to read out of a book for you. If you want to look up those meanings on your own, absolutely feel free, but I'm going to go ahead and just tap into what my spirit guides are telling me to say. So we have I remember, soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. That's really interesting with all the yellow I'm being drawn to. I'm really seeing the star, the center of her chest, and the star up at the crown, and the big star here that's kind of at the energy center here. The what do we call that? Where the chi comes from? I forget the word. It's a Japanese word, I believe. Anyhow, the central sort of energy centers that are here: heart, head, and then creationary. I think this is a really a period of time where you're really looking at what am I creating. You're really thinking about it. You're taking in all of this information from above and looking at all of this information from below and just bringing in the little bit that you want and absorbing it in the right way from the energy centers, using the head, using the heart, and using the creationary force to decide, what am I going to bring in? What do I really want? And how do I create this purposefully? You're really taking the time. She almost looks like she's in a meditative state. So I feel like that's the energy for Sagittarius right now, is to really think, what do I want and how do I get there? How do I take all these elements to create what it is that I want from a centered point of view and manifest what it is that I want into reality? And remembering the soul plan, remembering fate, and remembering that even if there is fate going on, there is some control in that whole process because we have free will and we are creators. So not letting ourselves just get swept up. We're looking at this web of intricate things around us and deciding, do I want to do that? Or do I want to do something else? I'm really seeing like a hand on her shoulder. I'm not sure if that's the image actually is, but you're being divinely guided at this time. You're being held and supported. And remember that even if you are taking a time of solitude, you're never really alone. You're never really alone. I love that. Big creation energy right now. It might not go anywhere for a little bit. This is a slow moving period of time. But yeah. Oh, okay. I forgot to mention that, and that's interesting that card came out. All right, and we have the Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So we're kind of between ideas, or we're between, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? I'm not sure yet. And I think it's in regards to something like a job or physical, or like, how do I make my money sort of thing. You're really between two choices here. Um, I do want to talk about and address this because I forgot to talk about that. Five of Pentacles is coming up. Now this conjunction, or excuse, I keep saying conjunction. So maybe for Sagittarius, it will feel more like a conjunction, that Jupiter with Saturn energy, because we do need to have our Jupiterian energy and force checked a little bit. So I feel like it's going to feel a little bit easier for us working with that energy than it may be for some other signs. But the square that is happening, this is very indicative of things. It usually comes along with things shifting and changing in the financial and economic sector. So this can lead to market crashes, or things like that, of that nature, things kind of rearranging themselves, which, let's be real, we've been feeling that energy for a while. Because I know we all have to go to the grocery store, and it is so damn expensive now. So that energy may be there and present, particularly for you, or you might be feeling that lack, feeling like there's some sense of loss. Remember that these things kind of come in waves, so don't worry too much about it. And it's a temporary thing. But you might have some things kind of rearranged from that. I feel like this is going in reverse, which is weird. But let's go with that. So there might be some upsets with that for you, but it's going to inspire you. We have all swords here. All swords. It's going to help you to make a decision, and it's going to help you to take action and to start to invoke some energy towards moving into something. There's going to be and I keep seeing the two roses here. We're in between them. We're taking action. No, we're taking the middle path. So this is going to help balance you out a little bit somehow. Some sort of loss. And again, this may not be for everybody that, like, oh, the financial market crashes, you lose a bunch of money. This could also just be like, you literally feel like you lost something. It could be a friendship. It could be a house. It could be, a physical loss. Could be some kind of health issue. But I feel like what it boils down to is like the sense of loss is here, but then it helps us to see the truth. And that in turn allows us to come up with new, interesting ideas to then manifest into physical reality, to make a decision to change, and to make a decision to choose the middle path. To, you know what, it's not this or that, it's a myriad of things, and I'm going right in between. And that's when you seem to see that, you have all these things around you, you have all these options available to you. And this sense of balance, this sense of harmony, a sense of support. Again, I'm being called to reference this hand on the shoulder here, from Spirit. You are supported in everything, and Spirit wants you to have everything that you want. Spirit wants you to be able to choose. Spirit wants you to have free will. You're not bound by any of these restrictions. You are free to move about. And I think you'll feel this sense of support very greatly. This is going to allow you to start something new and feel more like yourself than you have been in quite some time. I'm being drawn to that. He has the single white rose, and we have the two white roses here. So we're taking that and we're taking that inspiration, we're taking that thought pattern, we're taking that energy, and we're supported in our new journey as we move forward. And you're still you. You're still very much you. You're still in control. You're still fiery. You're still dynamic. You're still powerful. You have everything you need, but now you feel so much more in control of this jumping off of the cliff because you've realized you have all this support and you have all these options and you've been able to create this the entire time. It's just about waking up to the option. Remembering what you have even when all seems lost. Wow, that's interesting. Like everyone else, I don't see this journey going very quickly. I see us staying in the 7 and 6 of Cups energy for quite some time, probably throughout the rest of the year, at least while you are weighing your options. This waking up process is like it's now-ish, and the blindfolds are starting to come off in order to be able to manifest and create what it is that you want. This flash of an idea. I feel like I said that in a reading, like an epiphany sort of moment, like recently for Sagittarius. An epiphany moment is coming. And that will wake you up to all of these options and all these different things around you. And then you'll be able to choose the one that you feel most supported, the one that you feel is really right for you within. And that's going to bring in this new start where you feel in control, you feel powerful, you're back on the throne again. And also wandering around, adventuring, and being a Sagittarius. So beautiful. That's what I've got for you. Again, keeping these short, simple. I feel like, again, the energy is just so chaotic right now that this doesn't need to be that involved because there's enough for us to deal with. But I hope that this helps you to navigate the energy. I hope this gives you some things to think about for moving forward into the rest of the year. And also, I see the rest of the year being a lot more mellow. Like once we pass this middle of August situation with all this crazy astrology, the rest of the year looks pretty chill. So keep that in mind. Anyhow, please like, comment, share, describe, or subscribe. Oh my goodness. If you enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know if you resonated with any of the messages. And I look forward to seeing you again for the next major lunar cycle.